Hello everyone. Are you a person who is confused about what this year's CAP process is going to be like? Until last year, there were 9 IIMs in the CAP process. What will I do this year? I only have few IIMs, that to the third generation IIMs. What is this JAP process all about? What are these 4 IIMs, that being IIM Tiruchirappalli, IIM Raipur, IIM Ranchi, and IIM Kashipur coming together? And also, IIM Udaipur is having a separate process. So does that mean that they are going to take a separate interview process, and what to expect from them? Guys, if you have all these questions, please be relaxed, because in this particular interview experience video, I'll be covering my understanding and learnings from the last year's CAP interview process. And please trust me, your interview questions are going to be more or less on the similar lines on these notes, because at the end of the day, these all colleges have certain criterias which will go as consistently in the next few years as it was till now. Because at the end of the day, these are second and third generation IIMs. They can't change their process entirely drastically. Yes, there will be certain shifts, maybe in your work experience points, maybe in your UG pointers, maybe in your NIRF rankings of the UG institute that you have been with, to get a better cohort of students. And obviously that should be there to understand that there is a better peer group you'll be learning your MBA process, the MBA rigor with. Hence, having said all of that, I'll cover two doubts first. This year, yes, the CAP interview process will be held only for the third generation IIMs, but for the JAP interview process, you can also expect a similar style of interviews and a questioning which was there last year. And hence I'll be sharing my experience and questions candidly with you as it is, so that you can learn from them and understand and perform better. For IIM Udaipur, of course, there might be a separate different individualistic process, but at the same time, Udaipur being in a separate process also means that they always focus on the higher end of the percentile. Many students in the bracket of 99 to 99.4, which usually miss out on the Blackie or the old IIMs or SPJIMR MDI calls for some matter, they actually look forward to IIM Udaipur, and IIM Udaipur utilizes that opportunity to up their game and get the best possible students from there. So this interview experience will go a long way from that perspective. And one last point before actually starting the video, if you have not already watched, I have covered SPGen interview experience, the round 1, round 2, then NMIMS interview experience, the IIM Shillong's interview experience, IIFT in brief in my previous videos. Please do watch all of them. Make a note of all the questions that were asked there and then this particular video. And when you summarize all these questions, you can actually get a hold of the understanding of whatever questions which are being asked under the sun. And once you get a hold of these many questions, trust me, your 80 to 90% preparation is already done. You just have to be confident, up your game. For the next 10%, you can actually just keep asking your peers over Quora and Reddit as to how their interview experience is looking like, and you are done. You are there. You are going to convert this call. I have that confidence in you. That being said, let's focus on the CAP 2024 process and how it looked like for me. For CAP process last year, there were fairly two rounds. Number one round comprised of the VAT, which is writing ability test. Now this particular test is made sure to give you a topic which you do not know in advance, and to understand your thought process as to how fast you critically analyze those thoughts, understand those topics fairly, and you write about it. And when you write, you are being guided not only on your writing skills, but also how well structured your thought process is, how you relate this process not only from the question perspective but also on the outside world, how you relate the economies, finance, or even the outer understanding of the world of MBA into these perspectives. If you can maybe utilize a framework to jot down your thoughts and give relevant examples, there goes your brownie points, right? And if you can give additional examples, maybe if possible, if it's relating to the question, of course, from your UG or from your PORs, from your work culture or work perspective, then again you will definitely get certain brownie points. And make sure that if not, you don't have a fair idea of the topic, or if you are maybe zoned out, and if you're not able to write well, and maybe in some way you're not able to get down the thoughts on that particular day, which might happen due to panic or stress, make sure that you're practicing at least enough beforehand through GPT or some topics like that I'm sharing as a YouTuber to you, that your ending is perfect. In ending, you can actually maybe memorize how to end it well, maybe certain structured lines, like ending a certain abstract topic, how will it look like through chat GPT. Just practice it and make sure that your ending has a lasting impression. question and a recall value in terms of a third person, so that even if your content body is not as strong, your summary or your conclusion paragraph gives you the most brownie points. This is my advice, and I'll be sharing my candid experience in the questions asked to me as it is with you, so make a note of it. So for my writing ability test, this interview experience is of 7th March 2025, by the way. I gave this interview in Delhi, and I had this topic that, do you think a master's degree can guarantee career success in today's job market? Now again, a very relevant question, and you can expect certain questions around that on MBA lines. Nowadays you see that there is a upscale in the competition. Many people are going towards master degree, especially MBA, with AI coming into the picture. How does it affect the job market? How it doesn't? Will the tech jobs go obsolete, or will the tech also face a certain level of development, and maybe upskilling the game is the right idea instead of directly jumping to the master's degree? Think from different perspectives, and you might be asked relevant topics in your GD or even VAT as well in this particular interview. Now in my interview panel, there were two guys sitting, and there is a very funny incident which I would like to share with you. So I went inside to understand our process as to who will go inside first, because there was certain confusion as to who should be the first person to go. So I went inside and asked, hey, can you please brief us on the name of the first person who is scheduled for this interview panel? And they just simply said, okay, you come in and you will be the first person for the interview. And I was completely unprepared in that particular moment, because I wanted a breather. I was thinking, okay, I'll have few minutes, I'll jot down what I've revised, I'll summarize that in my mind. That's my usual process in the 5 to 10 minutes before the interview. And this was a sudden experience where I was called inside. Thankfully I had given previous interviews which helped me, and that's why I'm telling you again and again. If not, if you haven't already, just go back and watch my YouTube videos on SPJIMR, IIFT and other interview calls which I have made, so that you have a fair understanding of the idea. Because if certain surprise element happens to you, you do not panic in that situation. Now I'll quickly list down the questions that were asked to me one by one. So obviously they asked me first to introduce myself, and then my questions, initial ones, revolved around my work experience in Deloitte and how my consulting experience plays into the picture when I actually look forward to MBA. How will it help me in the sense that where I look forward to, which are the job domains and the industry domains I'm looking forward to when it comes to MBA. Then a very nice question which was asked to me is, they told me to describe my job role to a 12-year-old. So how would you do that? So I did that with a real life example of how Zomato, how Swiggy does things, and how operations actually work into the project management perspective. So this kind of creative questions is also what you can expect. Then the conversation shifted from BTech and the subjects I've studied to how the working of 4G, 5G, transistors, Internet of Things, statistics, other subjects which I've studied, how these things come into the picture. I was actually a little bit grilled on the statistics part as well. Then I was actually asked about lean startup management. This is the elective subject which I did in my UG. So if you have done any courses which is related to management, make sure that you are studying about it, the projects which you have done, because I was asked extensively about it and I was able to answer them very well, which got me some good points here. Then the conversation shifted to a little bit of the politics and general knowledge side. And here I was asked about, let's say you are the MP, and how would certain policies or things which you would do differently in your state. And there were certain questions about how the cabinet ministers work actually takes place, and the few questions around them, I can't remember them all correctly. Then basically there were two interviews, so other interviews directly came into the picture. He asked me about the Indian Nobel Prize winners, and I had to answer a few of them and little bit follow-up questions. Then I was actually given a very nice case study, and there was a case study on the manufacturing of shoes and certain ethical issues and dilemmas that a CEO was facing, and how I would approach this problem. Now, how to approach a case study is also I have extensively covered in the second round interview experience of SPGen. I would highly recommend you to see that. If not, if you still want certain clarity on how to solve case studies, I have given certain case studies in my the first two videos on my YouTube channel and my consulting blueprint playlist. I have answered how to approach a problem. So guesstimate solving, case problem, case approaches are something which you need to know, because here solution is not the main thing. How you structure the problem, how you approach it goes a long way. So actually I would highly recommend you to watch those videos to understand that side of things as well. Now they ask me about how short run and long run is different, how does it play into the picture. You take then I was asked about how master's degree and employability are related. Is master's degree really worth it? Then I was somehow the conversation shifted to the statistic side of thing, correlation, regression analysis. Then I was asked in the final question as how would you solve the problem of unemployment in India, give two approaches. So these were all my interview questions that went through. Now you have a fair understanding of how the conversation went, not only from academic point of view but also from a CEO case study perspective. They covered holistically about the statistics, the UG subjects, but also grilled me on my work expert. So they asked something of everything. It depends on you that how better you answer and structure your answers, because your next questions are depending upon them. Leave those question answers open ended. This is something which will come to you with experience. So if at all any interview is going bad for you, just learn from it. Don't take a beat down from it and screw your other interviews. These all are learning opportunities from you, and trust me, this rigor, this pressure will not come back to you. And this is nothing compared to the pressure which you will be getting inside an IIM or inside a B school. So this is just a stepping stone for that. So I would highly recommend you to give your best, understand, learn, and from your perspectives make sure that you're giving your best when it comes to these interviews. If at all you need any help, you can come in my comment section. I would love to reply to you. I would look towards your recommendation, what kind of videos you would like next from me. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.